Howdy everybody, it's me, it's Glenn, and I am back again with another road trip adventure commencing right now. I decided to start filming not in Phoenix, my hometown, this morning, but right outside of Flagstaff. Got everything set up here with the cameras, mainly because I left before 5 a.m. It was still dark for half the drive up here, so there really wouldn't have been much to see. So got my first opportunity, got some miles underway, and we're right outside of Flagstaff, Arizona, where we're going to be making our very first stop on our new road trip adventure. And when I get on foot and I can focus a little bit, I'll give you a little bit more information about what's going on and what you can expect. All right, let's make sure we go the right way here. This morning it's going to take us through the town of Flagstaff instead of out on Interstate 40 to 89, which we're eventually going to hook up with. But this way we'll get some really good views of the San Francisco Peak straight ahead. And in a couple miles we're making a left turn and heading towards our first stop, like I said, on this road trip adventure. Place to stretch my legs since I've been driving for close to a couple hours now. Better pay attention to what's going on here, though. Flagstaff is a busy town sometimes to drive through. Assuming this is the first video that I'm releasing, and your first exposure to this video, some of you might be pleased to know that, yeah, we're doing a major road trip. 3 weeks actually on the road, essentially living in my tent for almost the entire time. I think I've got 2 nights booked. I do have 2 nights booked in a hotel, 2 different hotels or motels along the way to kind of break things up. But essentially, yeah, 3 weeks of living in a tent, and we are driving to the northernmost points of our country in the western United States, all the way in Montana, all the way up near Canada. So that should be some hints about maybe where I'm going. Some of you might start to be able to guess. And what is this guy doing here? He's got his left turn on. I gotta make a left turn here in about 1.2 miles. But yeah, we've got much to discuss. So, like I said, why don't I focus on just getting to our next stop. I'm about 10 minutes away. And I'll explain, like I said, on foot, everything that's going on. Give you some updates, and can't wait to really officially get this started. I guess we have officially gotten it started, but I feel like once I'm on foot with my handheld camera, then I'm back in effect. You know how I am. I like to just chat while I drive, kind of stuck here to traffic light, but I figured we'll keep rolling, why not? We're in Flagstaff. I love this town of Flagstaff. I think I could live up here if I could find something worthy to do. Nice and cool. Let's see what the temperature is. It was a little chilly this morning. 65 degrees, which where I'm from in Phoenix is a lot cooler.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto North Humphreys Street.
Will do. Will do. I know there's sometimes I get confused driving around here in Flagstaff, so I need to really pay good attention. And the sun's bright this morning. I think this will be my left turn. This should be downtown Flagstaff or thereabouts if we were to keep going straight, I think.
North Humphreys Street.
We got a green arrow here. Take full advantage of that. Oh, the old Roadway Inn. I stayed there once in my
North Humphreys Street for half a mile.
late 20s when I first moved out here on a trip. It's very beautiful. Just seeing all this greenery to me is like a shock. Coming from my native Sonoran desert. But yeah, back on the road again. And while I'm going to be doing a lot of Cactus Atlas content, it's really not the main point of my trip, actually. The main point of this trip is for Campvue. And essentially celebrating, supporting the official launch of my app, which maybe by the time you're seeing this, the app may or may not be out this very day. We'll have to see.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto West Columbus Avenue, North Fort Valley Road.
Get interrupted here a little bit, but essentially that's really what I'm doing, and I'm going to be documenting some of the great campgrounds of the American West. Is really what I'm up to on this. But I figured while I'm out and about, why wouldn't we get some Cactus Atlas
turn left onto West Columbus Avenue, North Fort Valley Road,
and document everything in between, essentially, is really what we're up to here on this trip. So that's my top priority, is going to be documenting campgrounds. I'm going to be staying in campgrounds, doing all of our drive-through work to expand the catalog of Campvue. Now that the app is on the cusp of
West Forest Avenue,
being
then
released.
Turn right onto West Forest Avenue.
Now we're getting to areas of Flagstaff that I've never explored before. I've never gone up this way, but going to a place called Buffalo Park, which looked like a nice thing that I've wanted to check out. Boy, is that bright. Now I'll probably just stop filming because you don't want to be blinded by the sun, huh? I know I don't. Got a turn coming up right here.
At the light, turn left onto North Gemini Drive.
And then we're only like a half mile away, I guess, from the park proper. Look at how beautiful that scene is, though, here, coming up on the San Francisco peaks.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
I've never really explored every nook and cranny of Flagstaff. And this is another little nook to knock off the list. I think this park might be free. It's a regional park of Flagstaff, according to my research. And here's the sign. I guess we're about to find out. I don't know. Or is it not even open? Or do you have to like park out here? I guess you park out here, huh? Oh, okay. I guess we're gonna do that. A little confusing. I wasn't expecting crowds today, but boy, there's a lot of people here. It's a Wednesday too.
You have arrived.
Find me a little good parking spot, and then we'll basically just get off on foot, stretch our legs, and then we're gonna hit the road a little bit. So this looks like a nice little spot to park, and let's go check it out. All right, I'm here set up at the back of my truck, Slim. Some of you guys know Slim, unless you're new here. Well, you'll get to know Slim very well on this trip, but let me show you what I'm up to here. So you could see we're here on Campvue official business. This is 3 weeks of itineraries. I don't want to give away everything, but basically this is today, July the 23rd of 2025. And this is my whole schedule that I'm trying to keep today. It's actually 7:28 a.m. just to show you how well I plan. And we are at Buffalo Park, my first spot. Left Phoenix a little bit before 5. Made a couple stops, gas, ice, some things like that. But essentially this is what we're doing today. We're gonna start here, and then we've got several other stops you can see. And each day we'll review a different plan. I've got 3 weeks in here, so we're gonna be very busy. And here we are at officially at Buffalo Park. Let's see what this sign says. I've never been here before. Looks like Flagstaff bought this land in 1959. All right, I've got about an hour booked here if I need it. I don't have to spend the whole time here. We'll just do what feels right. Just really wanted to catch up in an idyllic setting and tell you what's going on. I don't really know much about this other than I knew it was like a pretty spot to go, but looks like there might even be a little bit of history to this area. There's a big loop, the Nate Avery Loop. I'm not gonna walk that whole thing. It's only 2 miles though, but what I really came here for are the views. All right, it's been a long time really. I told some of you that watched the show that I was gonna be not filming much for the Cactus Atlas, so I could focus on finishing the app Campvue, which at the point I'm filming today, when I left home, I would say the majority of the app is done and functioning. It's not live yet, not officially announced, but I will be making that announcement when I get back home. Probably in a few days. This video may or may not come out before I make the official announcement. Of course, you're on the Cactus Atlas here, so you may not care about Campvue, but you sure will hear a lot about it since that's the whole point of this trip. Looks like the loop starts right here. I guess you can choose whichever way you'd like to go. I'm gonna go left, just to be a rebel. I don't know if there's a preferred direction here or not, but absolutely beautiful. I don't know if that's a mountain. I know we're going to be on the other side of that on 89 heading towards Page and Utah actually today. Utah is our final stop where I'm going to be camping tonight. So we'll talk more about where I'm going in a bit. But so yeah, to celebrate Campvue and to get more content for it, for the app and the YouTube channel. If you didn't know, if you're new here, Campvue is my other side project. I would say what's becoming my main project perhaps. It's an app to assist campers with selecting campsites. And you can think of it maybe if you're familiar with sites like campsitephotos.com, things like that. That's part of the core experience, is my take on getting intel on campgrounds, visuals, video, photos. But I also made it into kind of like a Yelp for campsites. So there's a whole review system. You can create an account, log in, favorite sites, favorite campgrounds, like buttons, and write reviews to help other people make good selections. So that's essentially what the app is. And other than like a little bit of cleanup and stylistic stuff that I need to do, the core functionality and architecture is there. The hard part's done. So, but I did opt not to release it just yet before the trip. Let's scan this beautiful Flagstaff landscape and we'll face this direction here towards the San Francisco peaks, which are kind of obscured by these trees and the other mountain in between us here. But we're gonna walk out, I think, where we can hopefully get a better view of the peaks that are now already starting to get covered in clouds on the very top, which is not uncommon.
What other gym is it like? So
I don't even remember the last video I released on the channel. It's weeks ago, maybe even over a month ago. Haven't really done much of substance on the channel, as I mentioned, because I really have been fully focused on getting the app built. It's very important for several reasons. And my goal was to try to get it done before this trip, announce it, then go on the trip. But I decided to err on the side of caution, and even though it's probably in a releasable state at this very moment, I was hesitant because it's really my first app that I've been in charge of the entire architecture of, like user login, user flow, user data. So I want to be home to be able to monitor logs and things after I launch it, to just keep an eye on various limits and things, you know, with the plans that I have for the infrastructure, be around to be able to tend to any bugs. The app's solid. I don't know of any bugs at this point, but you know how it is if you work in software. So figured if I released it, went on the road, and then really didn't have time or the facilities to work on it, that wouldn't be very good to like start off and then have problems. So erred on the side of caution, decided to do the trip. We're gonna talk a lot about it because, like I said, this trip is very much about Campvue and the top priority, but I'm very excited about it, if you can't tell, and I can't wait for some of you guys to start using it. I wasn't expecting this park to be as crowded on a Monday morning, but I guess that makes sense. Most people are here for jogging and exercise, probably not for the leisure like me. So, but I do have some cool stops planned on our way to our main destination today, which is coral pink sand dunes in Utah, where I'm going to be setting up my tent tonight and enjoying the pink sands there. We've been there once before, a few years ago now, and I figured it was a worthy stop for Campvue to document it and to check it out. In addition to this being a business trip, because it very much is a business trip, I wanted to kind of maybe almost celebrate, in a way, my journey with cancer treatment, which if you're new here, I've got plenty of videos that go very in depth about what I had, what my treatment was like, and I'm 6 months post-treatment at this point, and it's been a journey, but I finally feel like I've turned some major corners, and I think I'm ready to enter the world and just live a normal life again. So I don't repeat myself too much for other like long-time viewers. Just a quick summary of what was going on. Last September, discovered I had a type of head and neck cancer, a tonsil cancer, with an excellent prognosis, but still a pretty big tumor was in there, and it required 35 days of radiation therapy and over the course of 7 weeks with weekly chemo sessions. So when it comes to treatment, one of the rougher ones I hear, because of how long it goes and how much damage it does in your insides, your whole body really. And I've been since January healing, and I still have things, you know, that are way better than they have been. Every time I report to you guys, there's been much improvement every time, but it's probably gonna be another 6 months before I'm as normal as I'm going to feel. That being said, I feel the best I felt, and energy-wise, I almost feel back to normal, to be honest. So I think this trip is a really healthy transition for me to fully get back into things. And that really ties into Campvue, the app. Over this whole time I've been down and out, I've been building basically a digital business, using my full set of skills and then some to build this app. And I'm going to be talking a lot about the architecture, the technical stuff on my professional profile. So if you're a developer and you're interested in the technical stuff, I will be talking about that in other venues, but not here, not to this audience. But essentially it's a bridge, I'm hoping, into a really good job. I have very specific companies in mind that I'm gonna be applying to once I get back home from this trip. So think of this as maybe a last hurrah for the time being before I get back to the daily grind. Finally, after all of this time. But really wanted to put the final touches on this app that I've conceived and gather the best content, gather some heavy hitter national park campgrounds, things with lots of search volume. And that's really what this trip is mainly about, and hitting state parks, some national forests, and other things in between as we pretty much head straight up into Utah, Salt Lake City area, into Idaho, Montana, and then back down through Wyoming. So that should give some of you guys hints as to where I'm probably going. Some of you probably have figured it out already. And this looks to be part of the Arizona Trail, a trail that should traverse the entire state. If you look straight ahead, you can see the main gate that we came in. And I'm gonna just head back there now. I mean, we're way under budget so far in terms of time. Probably just use the little boys' room really quick, and I might just hit the road, said what I wanted to say to start off, and then we're gonna head north into the desert again. And we'll be making some other really cool stops along the way. And this probably will feel similar to other adventures we've filmed in the past, albeit I'm kind of doing this to document just the whole journey for Campvue. So that being said, it may be a little bit more casual than what I've done in the past at times. Probably less history lessons, less preparation in that aspect, and more just documenting my life, like campground life, just getting up in the morning, breaking down camp, setting up camp, and just bringing you along for the whole thing so you can kind of experience it with me. But every day I do have pretty solid itineraries planned, where, you know, a lot of the days are just big travel days, driving hundreds of miles a day, several hours a day, and I've picked points of interest along the way, some very simple leg stretch kind of things, maybe like this. Others a little bit more substance to them, and then definitely some big ticket items along the way that I wanted to check out. Some dirt road driving, nothing too crazy on this trip, gonna keep it tame, and lots of camping. And I'm actually gonna try my hand at fishing on this trip, and we'll talk a lot more about that actually as we do it, and you'll get to see me do some of that on this trip. So it's gonna be packed full of activities, and packed full of a lot of campgrounds to document. So I'm gonna be a very busy guy. So that being said, Buffalo Park in Flagstaff, the first official stop on this whirlwind tour, 3-week tour through the western United States. And we'll get one last look there at the San Francisco peaks, kind of hidden and obscured now by clouds, and that mountain kind of in the foreground. But back to the truck. Well, there you have it, Buffalo Park. A viewer actually recommended this a while back. I don't remember who it was, but thank you. Because I thought this was a great little spot. Definitely great for locals. I'm just really surprised on a Wednesday morning how crowded it actually is. It's like a weekend. There's really very little parking at this point. But I guess it makes sense too, because people are mainly here, it seems like, to jog.
Then turn right onto North Gemini Drive.
But now we should be heading out to Route 89. Alright, well we have about an hour till the next stop near Cameron, Arizona. Not Cameron itself, we've stopped there in the past. But today, we're going to go see a site nearby that I've never seen before, an overlook. Assuming it's open and all of that. It's hard to find up-to-date information about it, but I think it is. I always document this section of 89 when I go on these trips. I always like to, just because it's the last we're going to see of pine trees, maybe for the rest of the day once we get past Flagstaff, but certainly not for the trip. We're going to be in pine forests and deep forests most of the time. Except for, I guess, today and tomorrow. And then from there, yeah, as we head further north, I expect things to probably more resemble this look and feel. But I like getting past that part of Flagstaff because it just seems to open up and breathe once we get to about this point. All of the Flagstaff traffic. Flagstaff's a pretty trafficky, city. And 50 miles ahead right there, it said Cameron Trading Post. We're not going to there today, but we're going to be making a left towards the Grand Canyon temporarily to go to the Little Colorado Overlook is the plan. And I should be arriving about 15 minutes ahead of my planned start time there, so we're going to continue trying to stay ahead, but my itineraries do have some breathing room in them. But my goal every day is to try to stay ahead rather than get behind, so that way I don't feel rushed on the trip. Because I am trying to blend work with some pleasure on this trip, just after everything I've been through. This is really the first thing I've done leaving the house even. I've only really left the house to go to the grocery store and run errands for not quite a year, but a long time. So getting back out into the world, barring a few exceptions, I did make a couple videos a couple months ago. It's kind of a shock to me to be back at it. I feel a little rusty, but hopefully it doesn't come through. And other than that, like I said, I just want a just nice, casual, vloggy, whatever you want to call it, road trip. Trying to just keep it relaxing, because I think in this day and age, everybody needs a break from the usual social media craziness that we all experience. Just a place to get away, a place to relax, a place to kind of unwind. And some of you say my videos help you in that regard. So that's really one of my main goals for documenting this, is to give people a long format, half hour, 45 minute, hour long, whatever it ends up being every day. Just tag along with me, pretend you're here riding alongside of me, escaping whatever it is that's stressing you out. Everybody's welcome here. And I think everybody needs a break. I know I do. Alrighty, I stopped at a place just generically known as the Navajo Trading Post, and it was
in 200 feet at the traffic circle, take the second exit onto Arizona
actually a
64
very,
West,
very nice
Desert View
place. Like really good gift shop and very clean bathrooms at the Chevron station here. So if you need a place to take a break, that would be
Exit
it.
the traffic circle onto Arizona 64 West.
And here we go.
Continue on Arizona 64 West for 9 miles.
On the Bushmaster Memorial Highway, and you can see it says Grand Canyon vehicle fee, because we're actually, this is one of the ways to the Grand Canyon. It's about 30 miles away, and we're not going, so the south rim of the Grand Canyon, but we're not going to the Grand Canyon today, but something maybe that'll give us a slight Grand Canyon vibes, a smaller canyon, the Little Colorado Overlook. I believe it's a Navajo Tribal Park. I thought this landscape was pretty neat looking, so I figured I'd roll the cameras a bit. We're only about 5 miles away from this Little Colorado Gorge Overlook. My assumption is it's probably like a offshoot canyon off the Grand Canyon. I don't think we could see the Grand Canyon from over here. I don't really know much about it. I've driven by it once or twice when it's been closed, and always thought it looked interesting. And we'll find out soon enough. But look at this deserty landscape though. It's really pretty out here. We have arrived, and I guess there is a fee. There is the little canyon down there you can see. Want to say this is $7 or $8. I guess we're about to find out. So I don't know how this works. I guess we're just gonna get out and take a peek, and we'll see. But I'm happy to be here. I've never seen this one before. Another Arizona first for the Cactus Atlas. It's very breezy out here, I can tell you that, and it's actually pretty warm. It's like really cool up in Flagstaff, and over here it's hot actually, I would even say. But we're gonna head on down here. I'm gonna show you a view. Wow. So this would be the Little Colorado Gorge. Wow. That is deep. I wasn't prepared for it to be quite that deep here. Absolutely beautiful. I think the Little Colorado River is what comes out. There's a historic bridge at Cameron that we've seen before, and it's not quite as dramatic there, as deep out by 89. We're gonna drive right by it later on the way out, but looks like it turns into a deep canyon here, and we can walk down this ways. It's a little rocky, so it's not really inaccessible for everybody, I guess, but not hard for me anyway. It's gonna watch your step, but it's definitely worth coming out this ways. This is absolutely stunning. Look down in there, actually. You can see there's actually even water puddles. If you look carefully, like muddy water puddles down there. You can see looking back the other way, and it's pretty rugged to get it down here in this spot. It's not like a little nice smooth path. Kind of have to navigate your way around it carefully. Watch your ankles here. Want to get to the very end here. We are almost to the end. Boy, is it hot. Wasn't prepared for how hot it would be up here. Oh, wow. There's more on this side to look, and look at the lines, just the layers of geologic history there. So beautiful. I really like that, those lines. It's very geometrical. So there's nobody here really. There's some folks just now making their way down and taking their time, but I got all the time in the world to enjoy this all to myself. I want to be careful here. It's very vertiginous. There's like this little spot here. This is where you gotta go, like right here on the very edge. Oh gosh. Did I really want to do that? Let me show you. So you come here like this and you're like dun 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 dun. Ah, that is a neck tingler, folks. I mean, that is straight down. I mean, I don't like these spots like this. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna back it up. I get a little vertigo, I would say, in spots like this. I get nervous and I'm out of practice, so I do like to confront my fears and things that bother me, but I can only do it for just short spurts. And you can see the road up that way. That's the road. To the right would be the Grand Canyon. To the left is where we're gonna head back to. There's one more little overlook here that we need to come check out for the completionists. But you can see we were down that ways. That's where you want to go. This is pretty spectacular if you don't want to brave or can't make the little rugged descent down there. It wasn't bad, but some people might struggle. But this is still pretty cool here too, if parking lot's right behind me. So this would be the easier place to go. There's like a hoodoo or a disconnected section of rock. Gonna get my little selfie. All right, let's get back on the road. Thanks for joining us for the kickoff of our 2025 Campvue Northern Tour here on the Cactus Atlas. Be sure to tune in to part 2 when we make our way to Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park in southern Utah. See you then.